Taras Shevchenko. Why does he matter today? Introduction. In the early 90s, when existence of Soviet Union was drawing to a close, the life chain of people formed as a crane for change. Was it when the little infant was brought into the world? As a chain of conscious people united west and east of Ukraine, so Taras Shevchenko's birth 2 centuries earlier did. As a toddler, he was about to discover beauty and difficulties of life, as Ukraine was, by establishing the Pact of Independence in 1991. As Taras would wander searching for the metal pillars holding up the sky, Ukraine searching for a way to go was through. Hard work and eager desire for a normal life caused by his mother's and thereafter father's death. Being orphaned, Taras should have had strength to continue fight for a right to be educated, to be fairly treated human being. Moving to Kiev, he went into a new phase in his life. Even though he had an opportunity to learn painting, soon enough he got tired of his landlord's mistreatment, whereas Ukrainians eventually understood that they were unjustly treated by indiscreet government. Revealing talents was strictly unacceptable. So when Taras's passion for painting and writing could not be hidden any longer, was he caught and beaten up by coachmen as well as Ukrainians were beaten up by forgery at presidential elections in 2004. Ukrainians who did revolt causing Orange Revolution, united as a nation, spreading out feeling of freedom, and so was when Kobzar's overwhelming talent was eventually recognized. Ukraine, being 16, moved to a new step in its history by successfully conquering the old system. As UEFA Euro 2012 was held by Ukraine, started quite a few international relations, as 22 years old lad got acquainted with people who were defining his later life. So why does he matter today? Why are his ideas so influential? Fall in love, O dark-browed maidens, but not with the Moskali, for Moskals, they foreign folk, bringing naught but grief. Katerina, Taras Shevchenko, 1838. Society in Ukraine has numerous controversial issues that are breaking its soul in 2 pieces, Western and Eastern. It was since the foundation of Kievan Rus in the 9th century. Ukrainians would always face problems to cope with. It is known that the most effective way to break down the nation is to force them to use another language, which would not be uniting, and the link to the ethnic origin might easily be lost. This issue attracts attention now as never by constant trials to infiltrate Russian language into Ukrainian minds. Why does Taras Shevchenko matter today, was the question. Not one Ukrainian would hesitate with an answer. When in students' cafeteria someone feels his true Ukrainian essence, having heard the mention of Shevchenko and tries to speak Ukrainian afterwards, when a young person living in a Russian-speaking environment learns Kobzar's poem to recite them proudly to friends and foreigners, when Taras's creations are being spread out, helping people to find themselves as Ukrainians, here is the point where might be said that there is left no question anymore. A lot of work was done in the period of Taras Shevchenko's life, even more have been done by his descendants, and a great deal is to be done. His life was a deliberate search and required courage to endure. He made a contribution to Ukrainian literature as no one had done before. Born as Ukrainian serf, he faced the problems of society from the early age. Being free neither politically, not physically, any day of his childhood, he would dream of a new system, worthy to be carried away by trials to make it true. "Try not to become a man of success, but rather to become a man of value," said Albert Einstein. Time flew. Ukrainians have faced plenty of difficulties where will to be Ukrainian might have been destroyed ever since Shevchenko's time. But as you face facts that through all the times Ukrainians have had faith in a better future, haven't been sold by keeping Shevchenko's ideas in mind, Taras Shevchenko becomes a man of value indeed. People hang his portraits on the wall praying like to icons, government places statues in cities, names parks in honor of him, and his name is overused on social and political events. But is not that too much? Taras was just a mortal man with his own sins, troubles and weaknesses. In place of Soviet Union's character who founded Marxism, statues of Vladimir Lenin is being frequently replaced by Taras Shevchenko's, sometimes just changing the head of the statue. Korets, Rivne Oblast. Politics by indulgence upon the public by glorifying him. A person who prays from the early age to the Kobzar's portraits grows older and by becoming aware of his imperfection, feels defeated and betrayed to the extent of disgust. It is the point where it is clear that Ukrainians should be fully aware of Taras Shevchenko's contribution, but as with any person, they should not make him saint. They've got to spread out his extraordinary ideas, but features of character. Analyzing Shevchenko's biography, it could be seen that Ukraine is on a challenging way, which will be filled with wins and failures as Taras's life was. As 1840 collection of poetry, Kobzar, was published on an immediate respect, so the world is to become aware of beauty that Ukraine has had a whole time hidden by opponents' suppression. Times shall change, so there is hope not to repeat the history of Taras's life in exile. Those were years of misery, which he lived through and eventually returned undefeated, laying by it the foundation for following generations to live a free life, being citizens of the world. Concerning all contributions that was brought, there is not a single doubt that Taras Shevchenko was the most influential man Ukraine has ever produced.